How's that? Does everybody see what's happening here?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So this is an example of the blank 411 sheet in an Excel doc, which I really use. And then here is an example of an old PDF one of which is filled out and completed. So you'll see they're labeled here. So 411, right? 4 weeks, 1 month, 1 year. What are the goals and things that you want to accomplish? It's an easy way to break them down. What I see some people do, which I don't like, I don't know if it's right or wrong. I don't know if there's an instruction book on how to successfully do your 411. But something that I see a lot of people do is they will take and copy their week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4. So they'll fill out their whole 4 weeks and it's the same thing over and over again. Right? I like to do it week by week because I believe your goals and actions should be fluid. They should constantly be changing and being adjusted in order to reach that monthly or yearly goal quicker or easier. Right. So week 1, I started labeling mine in colors too that you guys can see. Green means I did it. Red means I didn't do it. Yellow means, hey, I gave it an honest shot. Um, and you'll see if I do repeat something, that's because it was something that was crucial but not completed the first week. Right. So I've marked this up to kind of give you an example of how it can be broken up. Does anybody have questions on this?
You have questions, Beth? No. Nope.
No questions?
No. Nope.
Okay.
Looks good.
All right. So that's the thing. It's something that's not set in stone, right? We want to follow it. What we don't want to do is adjust the goals if we're not hitting them. Okay. You don't adjust your goals, you adjust your actions. Okay, because it might say, oh, this is unrealistic. I wanted to do 500K this month. I'm only going to do 150. So next month, I'm just going to go ahead and change that to 150. We don't want to adjust the goal. We want to adjust the action. Right? Big actions lead to big results. And the 411 is something that's going to help us keep track of that. It's going to show you how impactful some of these tasks are and how some aren't. So ideally, when you want to start your day off right, you want this document placed somewhere you're going to see it, whether it's on your screensaver, taped to a wall in your office, if it's next to your computer, if you use a planner. This is a document that you want to keep with you. It's your task list. It's your to-do. If these are truly your goals and truly your why, and this is something you stand behind and believe, this document should be with you every step of the way because it's going to be your guide. It's your roadmap to your personal success. Right? The 411 isn't my idea of what I think you should do to be successful. It's not Trisha's idea. It's not your spouse's idea. It's not your kids. This is something that you've created yourself. And this should be something that you truly believe that these are the goals I want to accomplish and these are the tasks I'm doing to get them. If you don't feel that it's true, then you need to adjust them to something that is. And I'm saying that will happen as well. A big thing that gets confused is your 411 sheet doesn't have to look like everybody else's. If you go to the meeting and you see Trish is running 6 marathons, making 500 calls and taking 9 new listings, that doesn't mean next week on your 411, you need to run a marathon, right? Her goals are her goals and yours are yours. So you want to create this document that it is your roadmap that you will live or die by it and say, you know what, if I don't know what to do today, I can break this sheet out and it's going to point me in the right direction. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah.
Right? Have you guys ever used this sheet like that before? Or is it something where it's like, hey, it's Wednesday. I know we're doing 411. I better hurry up and write something down on here in 20 minutes so I don't show up empty handed.
I feel like it does turn into that sometimes. I was telling Beth as we were going through it before the meeting started, like I was using this as, like you said, Andy, as a to-do list before. I was using it as just another way to chronically organize things that I wasn't going to execute. So I'm really excited to have the accountability and just like use this as a sheet of Kylie's saying no to everything unless it's on this list. This is what we are doing. This is it. This is all you have to do. That's it.
That's it. You need to do it. You need to time block it, right? And like I said, you need to spend your most productive hours on your most productive tasks. Don't get worn out. Don't get too tired. And by the end of the day, by next Tuesday, oh no, 4-on-1's tomorrow, and I haven't done anything because you didn't time block it. If these are truly the things that you believe are going to get you to those goals, they should be the first thing done every day. Right? You guys know that your kids are counting on you to take them to school, right? So hopefully you don't wait and be like, oh man, we were late for school. I know it's the same day every day, right? Somehow you manage to get them there on time. Hopefully. Right. Same thing with these tasks. You guys should have such importance behind them. They need to be a priority. It's not a to-do list. It's not something just because, oh, well, Andy and Trish said we should do this on Wednesdays. It's literally it's your roadmap to your own personal successes. If your goal is to close 20 million in real estate, we can find a path to break that down into monthly and weekly goals. If your goal is to lose 5 pounds, we can find a path to break that down. If your goal is a family vacation, a new house, whatever it is, if your goal is to donate $1,000 to charity by the end of the year, we can figure out a path to get you there, regardless of what it is. So pick your biggest goals. What is something that you want to achieve this year that would truly be life-changing for you? Put that down as one of your yearlies. What happens is we distract ourselves from what we know is important with what we think is important, right? Mm-hmm. We're going to signal to ourselves and to others that we're not in control of our time, that we're so busy. The day just got away from me. I don't understand how someone is so motivated and can achieve so much. It's because we're taking away from what we know is important with what we think is important, right? Think of how many things of your own that you want to accomplish that you've set a hurdle in front of because you didn't have time. Right? Think of a goal that you wanted to do last year or even last week. Oh, you know what? I really wanted to make 20 calls, but I didn't have the time for it. I really wanted to do this, but it's just so hard with everything else I have going on. Because you didn't prioritize it, because you're now confusing it with things that you think are important. Right? If we go back to dropping our kids off at school or daycare or whatever it is, right? Hey, sorry, Aiden, I didn't take you to school today. I just didn't have time for it. I had other things I had to do. I don't think that would go over well. I might be able to get away with it once or twice, but eventually somebody's going to catch on, whether it's his teacher, his mom, Child Protective Services. Somebody is going to catch on that, hey, how come you don't have time to take your kid to school? You know he has to get there every day by 8:30. Why didn't you do it? I just didn't have time, man. I had so much other stuff going on. It's not going to work, right? You got a spouse. You want to come home and sleep in the same bed, right? If I go and spend the night somewhere else and go home and tell my wife, hey, sorry, I just didn't have time to come home last night. I was out and things just got busy and I just, it just slipped away from me that I was supposed to come home and sleep in my bed with my wife. Like I said, that might fly. No, that won't even fly one time. I'm not going to lie. That stuff isn't going to fly. So how come it is with your goals and things that you want to achieve that it's okay for you to say I'm too busy for it? That it's okay for time to get away from it. There's some non-negotiables in your life right now that there is absolutely no way that you can make an excuse for that I just didn't have time to do this week. So why is it with your monthly or yearly goals you guys think that's okay? That's a real question. That's not like
Oh,
a,
okay, I wasn't
yeah,
sure if
that's a, yeah, no, that's a real question, right? So
um I think that if anyone is like me, I like what you said about replacing things of importance with things that we think are
we think are
important.
important. Yeah.
And you've talked to me before about just like what are you doing? Like what are you doing? What why? And it comes down to like you said, making sure that we put this stuff on the calendar and this is what we're doing. So no, Kylie is not running around and picking up her grandma and taking her here and there. Unfortunately, grandma, I have to go to work. I'm sorry.
Yeah. What is something that is stopping you? That's a great example. Kristen, you have an example for us. What is something that you think stops you from having that time to achieve those big goals?
Um, just getting, how do I want to word this? Um, honestly, and it kind of goes back to my statement earlier. It's not breaking them down into those smaller steps that I can achieve. Getting lost in the logistics and not actually getting started with it because I'm thinking of point Z before I'm even at point A. So that's probably my biggest hurdle.
Okay. Which I mean makes sense, right? It's oh my God, it's so hard to make $100,000 a year. Like how am I supposed to do that? Right? It's a little more realistic to make $8,000 a month. Right? If I can average $6,000 commission per house, right? That's a house and a half a month that I have to sell. In order to sell a house and a half a month, I maybe got to contact, have 10 solid conversations with people. So if I'm talking to 2 or 3 people a week, my chances of making $100,000 now seem a lot more achievable. And so those are the things that we want to do. If we can use this sheet, like I said, as your roadmap, as your goal, right? Make it a habit to look at this sheet first thing in the morning. This is your task list, right? Don't open up your emails and become reactive, right? Don't check your voicemails and start your day out reacting to everybody else's problems and issues. I need you to spend this time to be proactive. You take out this sheet and you concentrate on your goals and your activities that are going to get you closer to those big things. Right. And I think that's a big step that we miss when we do these 411s. Right. Especially now. I mean, I got the most done when it was just a couple of us in the conference room and we would actually print these out and pass them out to everybody who was in attendance because there was only, 1 or 2 of us. Then eventually it grew to where there were 6, 7, 8 of us. And we're like, let's not waste the paper. Instead of each of us printing out 8 copies to hand to each other, let's just make a digital copy and cast them. When I did that, once the meeting left, so did that sheet. And I didn't look at that sheet again until next Tuesday because I knew the meeting was Wednesday. Right. So I had on my calendar on Tuesday at noon, prepare for 411 on Wednesday. So a lot of times these goals weren't getting accomplished or they were getting rushed within the next 24 hours. So I don't go into the meeting with all red on my sheet. So if we use this as our agenda, if every day we wake up and turn it into a habit to what's on my 411 sheet today, right? What am I supposed to do this week? Did I call 10 past clients? Did I send out handwritten thank you cards? Did I ask anybody for a referral? Did I schedule scripting and role play with other people in the office? Did I send out my mailers? These are the things that you should be asking yourself daily, first thing in the morning. If you come in the office and you don't know what to do, this is what you do. You don't want to come into the office and get distracted by reactive things. Right? I don't know how many hours I've spent searching on the MLS, clicking through photos of homes. Oh my God, come here, look at this one. You got to see this kitchen. It's insane. Oh, look, somebody has carpet in the bathroom. How crazy is that? And I will spend hours of my day literally scrolling through homes to send to my clients. Right? Hey, did you call 10 past clients and ask them for a referral? No, I didn't ask for a referral. I was looking at pictures of houses on the internet. Why the hell would I ask for referrals? Right? And then all of a sudden, when I'm ready to do that, and a really important email just came in that I have to handle right now. Right? There's always going to be something distracting me that I think is busy or I think that's moving me in the right direction. Where in fact, if I was to focus a majority of my time on these things, I'm going to get so much more done. Right? 80% of your results are going to be based on 20% of your actions. This list should be that 20% of actions that's going to get you there. That's going to be the purpose behind this 411. That is so far all I have for you guys. Does anybody have questions?
Nope, I do not.
No questions.
No.
Everybody is solid. Everybody has a good idea of how they're going to create their why, of what their personal and business goals are going to be.
Yes,
Yes.
for the
Correct.
most part. I'm still filling mine out as well.
Okay. All right. And just so you guys know, the format moving forward, once we have them filled out, right, our format moving forward, when we do come to our meetings to hold ourselves and each other accountable, we're going to be asking, what were your priorities last week and how did you do? Right. So we're going to refer back to week one. Right? And you can say, well, my priorities were to do X, Y, and Z, and this is how I did. All right. Well, based on those results, what do you think your priorities should be this week? Right. So make sure that we're thinking of those as we're writing these. If I failed at these two things last week, my goals are still the same. What should I do this week to make it different? Are your priorities in order? When I write these things down, I try and write the hardest things first, and I go down that list in that same order. I don't hop around. Okay, I can't get to B until I'm finished with A. Something that's going to help me, I've realized once I get to week 2, week 3, and I get those priorities in order, what is stopping you from getting these things done? Right? So even if you want to have another section on there, or if you want to write down somewhere separately, what are the 3 hurdles that got in your way that week? A lot of times you'll see every week they're going to be the same. So we've got to find a way to get over those. And then what's the one thing you can do to eliminate those things? A lot of this is going to come down to that time blocking. There shouldn't be any reason that we cannot block out 1 hour of time to ourselves. If you have to wake up an hour earlier, if you have to go to sleep an hour later, if you have to, work on this while you're eating lunch in your car, there should be no reason that we cannot, as grown adults, schedule out 1 hour to ourselves. We've got to make it a priority, because this list is not only going to help you with business, but it's meant to help you with your personal things too.